You won't believe how many employers knowingly break the law. My name is Paige Sparks. I'm an employment lawyer. I sue companies for wrongful termination, for discrimination and retaliation, and I will never be out of a job because they won't quit doing it. Here are the most common violations of labor laws I see by all companies, no matter what size. First and probably most common is you are allowed to talk about your pay at work with your coworkers. If your employer has a policy saying that's not allowed, that's illegal to enforce or even to have. They cannot discourage you from discussing your pay with your coworkers. It's a federal right. The next most common violation that I see is companies improperly denying a request for an accommodation for a disability. They have to engage in what's called the interactive process and explain why they can or cannot accommodate you and provide possible alternatives. They don't get to just say, no, I'm not accommodating you. If you are an hourly employee and you earn overtime, your employer cannot require you to arrive to work early without paying you. So they can't have you just hang around waiting to clock in. You need to be paid for all time worked. Just because you're a salaried employee doesn't mean you don't get overtime automatically. There is a test to see if you are exempt or not from earning overtime. So for example, if you're an office staff person and you're told your salary so you don't get overtime, that's not really how it works. You may be entitled to overtime. Just because your boss says you're a 1099 contractor doesn't mean you are. I can't even begin to tell you how many companies I've sued for firing someone the day their workers' compensation claim settles for no legitimate work reason. Like, that's not suspicious. You also can't be retaliated against for reporting certain illegal discrimination, which is why you always want to make sure you do it in writing so that we can prove that you said it. You also can't be fired for using things like FMLA. The things I'm talking about are illegal in every state because they are federal law, so it doesn't matter if you're in an at-will employment state, it's still illegal. If you report an illegal safety concern for something happening at work, you may have additional legal protections, but be really careful with that because if what you report is not actually illegal, it may not be protected. For-profit companies are not allowed to have you volunteer for work. Follow me to learn more about your rights at work.